There we go. Sorry. Passed my PPL check ride this morning, even though you told me to sleep. Thanks for your informative videos. Well, that is awesome. Congratulations. Yep, I got the audio fixed. I have a button over there that I forget to press all the goddamn time. But audio should be good now, right? I am seeing audio. I hate that Instagram's got a pretty big delay. So when I think I fixed something, either way, as you can see, that's my iPad down there. All right. We can do stuff. We can draw on it. Let me see. Right. We can draw a little stuff on it. We can draw little smiley faces on my iPad. Right. What's up, P Dizzy? How's your day going? We're doing some flight instruction. We're probably going to be doing some approaches and whatnot. So put in your requests, I guess. Yeah, we lit, whatever that means. Awesome. But as I said, we are going to be doing, I don't know, we might just chat. We might just talk about stuff. Either way, no skin off my bones. I'm not worried if y'all want to just talk, ask questions like we did yesterday. I am fine with that. But if y'all want to jump into Microsoft Flight Sim and do some approaches, I am also fine with that. So let's see. Is there any questions that anybody's got about flight training, aviation, etc.? Or about my shirt? I like this shirt. I got this shirt from Target. That's where 90% of my wardrobe came from. Good, bro. Just got back from Poland and want to know about CFI practical exam maneuvers. So, I mean, CFI practical it's really just all the maneuvers again. It's private pilot, it's commercial. It's just your maneuvers again. Now just talk through them. All right. And the new ACS for CFI. I know there's a new ACS for CFI. I think the only thing they really added was slow flight, didn't they? Any update on FAA with mental health? Actually, the FAA did just recently update their standards when it came to providing medicals for people with, any level of mental health, not any level of mental health concerns, but singular diagnoses, things like adjustment disorder with depressive mood, anxiety, stuff like that. The AMEs now are allowed to just straight up issue medicals with that. Right. Yeah, the FAA. Yeah, I am well aware, P Dizzy. I am well aware. Me and you are kind of in that same little boat with the FAA, right? The new ACS for PPL. To be honest, I don't think there was a whole lot of changes. There was a new ACS for PPL, but a lot of stuff that got added was just like things that we were already checking, like usage of EFB, right? Like that's pretty standard. Everybody's using an EFB now. Now it's actually part of the ACS where we need to evaluate. Where if you're going to use it, we need to evaluate you on it. What it did is it prevented, there was all of those old curmudgeon DPEs that were like, as soon as you pulled out your iPad, they were like, oh, your iPad died. Now what are you going to do? Ha, 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 ha. Back in my day, paper charts, blah, 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 blah. But now that the use of EFB is in the ACS, if you use an EFB on your check ride, it's okay. What's printing in the background? It's actually my, I'm printing out a case for my drone, for my DJI Mini 3. I'm printing out a case for my DJI Mini 3. See. I got tired of I actually was carrying around, I was using a Nintendo Switch case for my DJI Mini 3, and I'm just like, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best bet. Maybe I should definitely use something a little bit more designed for it. So I'm printing out a specific case for my DJI Mini 3 so that I can, well, use it, right? But does anybody have any requests on specific approaches? I think I'm going to go over I'm going to take off from Casa Grande. So if you want to follow along, here, let me pull up my iPad. So my plan is actually, let me get this in here, clear route, KCGZ to Papa. Oh, fuck. I hate iPads. 08. All right. Let's go over to my route. So this is what my route is planning, right? This is what I'm planning on for my route. And I plan on doing the VOR. I think it's VOR runway 17. I don't know. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Pop at 08. Come on. Show me. Then we got procedures. VOR runway 5. A subscription is required to view this chart. I have a subscription. What are you talking about? Subscriptions. Yeah. See, I have a subscription. What are you talking about? Charts. Let's go back. Let's go destination. VOR runway 5. Okay, here we are. So if we look at the VOR runway 5, the VOR runway 5 is pretty off center line, right? You got about a 21 degree difference between runway heading and the actual final approach course. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do it in like some hard IFR in the full, or not the full motion sim, but in the simulator, so that I can show you kind of how far you end up off course or how far you end up away from the runway. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Stay tuned for that, but this is going to be the route. What you actually use is you use the Stanfield VOR right here. Oh, I'm on my eraser. You use the Stanfield VOR way over there, and it takes you over there. But what happens to a VOR sensitivity the farther we get away from it? It gets less and less sensitive. This is one of the few approaches that at least I am aware of that gets less and less sensitive the closer you get to your final approach fix, your missed approach point. There's a hold on it as well. It's an interesting approach. It's an interesting approach, and it definitely throws off a lot of people. I'll approach you in hard IMC. Necromancer over on YouTube. First person in the chat over on YouTube. I love it. I love it. But that is the plan for the night, unless anybody's got any specific requests. I'm going to have to wait for Microsoft Flight Sim to actually boot up. I do have the Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo controllers. The company is almost defunct, so I can't really get a sponsorship from them, but I love their controls. So if you can happen to get a hold of one, they are the tits. All right. Your mothers. Never mind. But how is everybody doing tonight? I see there's 21 people over here on Instagram. Should we also go live on Twitch? I don't know. I haven't gone live on Twitch in a while. That's what the magenta line is for. Nope, we're gonna do this in a 6-pack. We're gonna do this in a goddamn 6-pack. So yeah, all right. But I'm glad that so many people are here. So many people asking questions. We're waiting on Microsoft Flight Sim to boot up right now. What's up, Joe? You seem new here. What's up, Joe? Is it Joe Swanson? Joe, I don't know. I can't think of any other Joes that I know of. But Microsoft Flight Sim, as you can see, it's starting to reflect off of my face, is booting up. Let's get some tunes back going. There's my tunes button. There we go. Necromancer, you're not new. You've been here. How long have you been here? I know, Joe Mama. That's a pretty good one. But so going to be getting some approaches done. I know we mostly do private pilot training, but let's talk about how to actually do some approaches. Let's look at this Papa 08, right? Let's look at this approach. Let's brief this approach, all right? How do we brief a... Oh, wait, this is a GPS approach. This isn't the one I want. I want the VOR Alpha, or the VOR runway 5 right there. How do we brief this approach? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to start right up at the top. We're going to be saying, hey, I'm going to be doing the VOR runway 5 into Coolidge. Looks like none of those notes apply to me. I'm going to be crossing the Stanfield VOR Looks like it can be a 1 minute. It's a 1 minute holding pattern. It can be anywhere from 6,000 to 3,500. I'm hoping we're down at 3,500. And then I'm going to drop down to 3,200 at Aziki. All right. And then from Aziki, we are going to go down to our minimums of 2,200. So it's only 1,000 feet, but we're also going to be paying attention to our DME. If we look at it, we can see our DME right. Where's my little, there we go. We see our little DME from the Stanfield VOR is increasing. This is a lot different than most approaches that you've done. All right. So just remember, it's going to get less and less sensitive the closer we get to it. Here's some other fixes. If we take it all the way from the Stanfield VOR, we're going to be going Stanfield, Wemru, Wardy, Aziki. Aziki's our final approach fix. Should be hitting there anywhere between 6,000 and 3,500, then down to our minimums of 2,200. If we don't break out by 2,200, we're going to be doing the missed approach, is climb to 2,300, then climbing left turn to 3,500 to the Stanfield VOR radial 071 at Aziki, which is 19 DME, and hold. You ready for your IFR check ride? That is awesome. You got any questions, Joe? You got any anything that you're nervous about for your IFR check ride? But any good questions? Last night we had a bunch of goddamn questions, so I'm a little disappointed. I guess it is a Sunday, right? It's a Sunday, right? Where's my mouse? I guess with it being a Sunday, maybe there's just less people here, less people hanging out. If Microsoft Flight Sim would ever boot up, we could actually get this going. Oh, wrong button. Let's go back to here while we wait on Microsoft Flight Sim to boot up. Oh my God, Microsoft Flight Sim, what is your problem? Microsoft Flight Sim sometimes has a lot of issues. Random question from someone who has only done some ground school with no hours yet. When you're using rudder to correct for crosswind in a general aviation aircraft, once you touch down, do you not start going the direction the rudder input is due to the nose wheel being controlled by the rudder? So your rudder in most aircraft actually has a little, it's got a little bungee to it. They're not solid. It's not a solid, rigid connection between your rudder pedals and the nose wheel. There's a bungee that connects them. So once those wheels touch down, the fact that your nose wheel or your strut is tilted slightly backwards, that caster forces the wheel to straighten out against the rudder pedal. But also, once you touch the ground, remember, the aircraft is still being impacted by aerodynamic forces. You touching down doesn't necessarily mean that the airplane is now all of a sudden rigid on the ground. Once you touch the ground, the wings are still producing lift. The wings are going to produce some level of lift until you reach zero. All right? Same thing when it comes to the rudder. So if you're pointing the rudder down the runway, or if you're pointing the nose of the aircraft down the runway, those aerodynamic forces are going to keep you straight down the runway until you get to a point in which you don't have any more aerodynamic forces on the aircraft, and then you can just taxi like normal. All right. Now, here we are in... Oh, where'd Microsoft Flight Sim go? There it is. Just recently passed my PPL check ride with help from your videos. I'm starting my instrument, so this stuff helps. Awesome, awesome. We are going to be getting into a couple approaches. Do you have any kind of requests? I'm going for Casa Grande. I'm going to start at Casa Grande, and then I'm going to intercept the 071 radial outbound from the from the Stanfield VOR, and then I am going to track that Stanfield VOR over to Papa 08. Thanks for those likes. Thanks for those likes. Keep them coming. So as you can see, here's my iPad. My iPad is showing what we're going to be doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off from Casa Grande. Casa Grande on this chart is right about, come on, give me my scribbles. Casa Grande on this chart is right about, damn. Close. There we go. The Casa Grande Airport is like right about here. So I'm going to take off from the Casa Grande Airport heading this way, make a left turn to intercept the 071 outbound, and I'm going to practice this approach. That's going to be the first approach that I'm going to be doing. Make sense? So let's hop into our trusty Cessna 172. All right, so we got Casa Grande. I'm not going to put any kind of arrival into it. What's our flight conditions going to be? We're not going to use live weather. We're going to set our ceilings at around 2,200. All right, and we're going to have it, 100% density, 100% cloud coverage, just so that we can ensure that we actually have IFR conditions, right? That's really what we want. We want to make sure we actually have IFR conditions in this situation. Have I done an AFD approach? No, I have never done an AFD approach. My flight sim it keeps saying I'm not connected to the internet when I am. Anyone else experience this and have a remedy? Your firewall is probably blocking it. Top to bottom reading the plate, in my honest opinion, and the missed approach, there's little tiny boxes that show how to do the missed approach instead of reading the paragraph. That's just me. And I mean, I like reading the paragraph. All right. On Microsoft Flight Sim, is there any way to practice approaches in a 172, but have it set up so that you can easily reset back to the approach? So you would need to download a little bit of software. There's a flight sim recorder software that is probably what you're actually looking for. That software is going to actually record the flight, and then you're going to be able to rewind it to a point in which you want to be. Does that make sense? So we got our weather set up. Let's hop into it. Let's make sure our mixture is up. The key is set, because we're not going to go through like starting it or anything like that. We're really just going to hop right into it with it running and get up into the soup. When will ATC delete a flight plan if it's not been activated in their system? Oh shit. Was it an hour after after your planned departure? I'd have to check. I'd have to look that one up. Because I don't end up in those situations. So it's kind of hard for me to remember. So I would have to look that one up. I don't have that one off the top of my head. Let's change our weather. We're going to change it to daytime. Just because I don't really feel like flying around at night. Oh, and look, the clouds didn't stay. 2,400 scatter, density, cloud coverage. Awesome. All right, there's our weather. Do you have any other components beside the alpha? I have rudder pedals as too. The rudder pedals as well. The rudder pedals I have kind of suck. It does. What's the name of the software? I think it is Flight Recorder. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's called flightrecorder.client. You just Google Microsoft Flight Sim Flight Recorder. I don't really have an easy way to show it to you right now. Maybe I do actually. Yeah, see. If I do that. No, it's not working. Never mind. But no, I have some nice little rudder pedals, but I do have the Honeycomb Bravo stuff. So here we are in our trusty 172. Our lights are on. Since it is, well, you know what? Let's fucking do this live. All right. There's no need for me to actually have this thing all set up before we leave the ground, because that's not what's going to happen in real life. I am going to be taking off, and then I'm going to be getting cleared for something. So what I am going to do, though, is I am going to set up an altitude where I'm going to climb to. All right? I think I'm going to climb up to probably 3,500. That seems to be what is appropriate for this plate. Okay? How do you poop effectively? I don't know. What kind of question is that? All right, so I've got my altitude set. I'm going to bug a heading. I think a decent heading to bug is going to be, well, if I'm taking off runway 21, trying to intercept the 170 outbound. Let me just make sure. Yep. Let me go out on my range on my GPS to make sure I know exactly. Oh, wait, I can do that on my iPad. Yep, taking off runway 21, a left turn out to a heading of, I don't know, 0 or 100. Sure, 100 sounds good. Why not 35,000? What do you mean 35,000? You could climb to 35,000, stall and drop down and restart. No, we're going to go up. We're going to try and treat this like training, right? This is what we're going to plan on doing. All right. Let me go back to my chart. I am going to get my VOR up. Going to tune in my frequency because I know that's what I'm going to be doing. So if I push this in, I'm going to tune 114.8, and let's put that in our primary. So swap that up. And let's set our course 071. That's about 071, right? Yeah, right about there. That's about 071. 114.8. Let's make sure I am in nav mode. CDI. There we go. VLOC. Does Flight Sim work on iPad? What do you mean, does it work on your iPad? So, I mean, I can pull up my charts like this on my iPad. But I'm using a little bit of software called Glide that lets me, you know, pull my iPad up on my screen. Is VR training more effective than using a monitor? I really think that trying to do private pilot stuff in the sim doesn't really make sense. Because you're not feeling the airplane. You don't really know what's going on. Doing instrument training does make sense, though. So I've got a decent power setting. Let's get rid of our yoke so we can release our parking brake. And all our lights are good. Let's go ahead, apply some brakes, get some power in. Make sure my RPM builds. It does. My flaps are set. Let's go. I'm going to take off from outside just because it's easier to take off from outside. A little bit of right rudder. And rolling down the runway, airspeed alive. And rotate. Wear up, back inside. Flaps can come up. A little bit of nose up trim. And let's set a reasonable vertical speed up of about 500 feet per minute. Set heading mode. And autopilot can come. Autopilot's on. Vertical speed up 600 feet per minute. Flaps are up. And I am happy with that. So I'm watching my needle right here. This needle is showing me that I'm going to be tracking away from the Stanfield VOR. There we go. We're climbing up to about 2,000. So I'm currently 3D printing a case for my DJI Mini 3 because I got tired of carrying it around in my Nintendo Switch bag. All right, so we're heading south. I think I need to adjust my heading slightly because we need to start heading towards our actual course. I'm going to go with 120 and keep my climb coming. I know, no white lights at night, but we're not at night. We're technically in the day. It's just really cloudy. It's blocking the sun. Want to eventually get into simming, and I currently have the Alpha, going to be getting the Bravo soon. Wonder if they need anything else. Rudder pedals are nice. Oh, so for PPL, would the sim only be useful for cockpit familiarization? Yeah. Just passed my check ride on Friday. Watched so many of your videos while at work. That's awesome. Awesome. Congratulations on your check ride. All right, so it looks like our needle is swinging in. I am going to switch over to nav mode. Oh, my nav mode button isn't working on my panel, so I'm going to go ahead and hit nav mode. All right, so it seems like nav mode isn't going to work for me in this airplane. Oh. My airspeed is all over the place. There we go. I'm happy with that now. Okay. So you see what I mean by it's kind of hard to fly a sim if you don't already have a little bit of experience in an airplane, okay? So there's my course. We're going to try and track the 071. There's 3,500. We'll bring our power back to about 2,100. All right, let's hit altitude hold. Let's go autopilot, altitude hold. There we go. And we're capturing our altitude. We are way off course. Let's go with our heading. And engage heading mode. We are a little bit right of course. If you reload, make it complete IMC. This is complete IMC. What are you talking about? I am in the soup. There is nothing I can see. There is no ground. Oh, well, I guess there's a little bit of ground reference. But yeah, I guess there was a little bit of ground reference. We'll give it just a smidge more power since I am only doing about 80 knots. I am going to turn a little bit left. Now, where is my DME? I need to actually get my DME from my GPS because I don't actually have a DME reading. So we are going to come over here, hit direct, and type in KTFD. Or sorry, not KTFD, but just TFD. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, B, C, D, E, F. Nope. And D. Stanfield VOR. Enter. Enter. So where is my distance? It's been so long since I've used a Garmin 430. Ah! CDI. Nope. Fuck, where's my distance from this goddamn thing? Ground speed, 6 miles. Distance, right up there, 11.4. Okay, at 11.4, I should be... All right, I'm good. I'm between Wiemru and Wardy. If we look at an approach plate right here, I am currently right here. That's where I'm currently on my route. It looks like at Wardy. Where can I go at Wardy? It looks like... past Wardy, I can drop down to 3,200. I am not on VATSIM. I am not on VATSIM. So let's go altitude 123, and at Wardy, in just a little bit longer, I'm going to start my descent. Okay, let's get rid of the iPad so that y'all can actually see the screen. And we are a little off course, so a little bit more left. Try and correct for this. There we go. We're correcting. And 13.4, a little bit more, and we'll start our descent. That's kind of nuts that this thing is like swinging needles, but it doesn't have any kind of DME. Huh. I really like it when you get DME right on the localizer, right on the actual dial. That really helps out a lot. All right, there's 14, so we're going to set our vertical speed down. Down to our 3,200. And we can even reduce a little bit of power to help with that. Can you make a video on your sim setup? I'm looking to get into instrument. I mean, all I do is I have the Honeycomb Bravo and the Honeycomb Alpha with some rudder pedals, and then I use Glide, which is I think it's some software from Asus that I use to get my iPad on the screen. But then I have my Stream Deck that like just shows you guys my panels and stuff. Shows you my iPad. All right, still just a smidge off course, so we'll go left. Now, good luck getting the Honeycomb Bravo. I've heard that they're kind of hard to get a hold of. All right, so at 19 DME, I can go down to my minimums of 2200. So just to have this preloaded, let's go ahead and set 2200. All right, you can see that on my map, on my chart right here, down at the bottom. My minimums are right there. Yes, this is Microsoft Flight Sim. Why? What's up? Still just a smidge off course. I need to correct for... some wind. All right, 16.9 DME. I am going for 19 DME before I can start my descent. And as you can see, I'm not using GPS for any of this. This is all based on a VOR signal. But the big thing I want to show you is how far you end up off course on this one. All right. You end up pretty far off course on this one because the final approach course is 21 degrees off from the actual runway heading. I'm actually using Garmin Pilot. I'm using Garmin Pilot, and I'm using a program called Glide that shows you my iPad. All right, 18.3. What I noticed is that I just wasn't happy with Navigraph. It was just slowing down my computer. And since I already had Garmin Pilot, it just didn't make any sense for me to keep paying for Navigraph. All right, here we go. Let's get our altitude, vertical descent down. We'll do about 1,000 feet per minute down. And there we go. We can start seeing the runway. The runway we're landing on is the one that's all cattywampus, pointing out that direction. Now, these clouds aren't that low. I guess I could drop them down just a smidge more and go for that. Now, missed approach point on this is 24 DME. So here we are at 2200. We can reduce some power. Let the airplane start slowing down for this approach. So below 110, we can drop one notch of flaps. Below 85, let's drop 20. Let's go ahead and kill our autopilot and fly it. So this is almost a circling approach. Like if we're really just going to be honest, got my private pilot's license because of your amazing advice last night. That is awesome. Congratulations on your private pilot certificate. How does it feel? How does it feel to finally have checked that box? That is awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations, Nick. Now keep hanging out because we're doing instrument training now. Are you going in for your instrument, Nick? All right, we have made it down. We've got the runway environment in sight. I'm going to end up going for a little bit more of a base. All right, I'm happy with this approach. Now, here's the thing. If I was doing this at night, I would not be authorized to do circling for any other runway. What does it actually say? It says, Circling for runway 1735 at night is not authorized. So I've got to land on this patch of pavement. Well, that's awesome. What other platform am I streaming on? I am currently on YouTube as well. That's where most of like the students who follow me, you know, for the educational content, that's where most of them are. So I decided it would probably be really good to stream to them as well. I'm not currently on Twitch. I am on YouTube and Instagram right now. I just wasn't really making any headway on Twitch. But I got a decent amount of subscribers over on YouTube, so I was just like, you know what? Let's start streaming on YouTube. This is where the people want me. This is where people are enjoying or consuming the content that I am creating. So let's stream to that location. People just weren't showing up on Twitch, so I just kind of just stopped streaming on Twitch. All right, I probably could have slowed down a little bit more, but you know, it's a simulator. Teach me queso poppy. Fuck off, Necromancer. Your mock check rides were a big help. Well, I do currently have, I have a video just kind of sitting on the hard drive right now of Kim Engineers. She went and did an instrument mock check ride with me. So we're working on, I'm working on editing that video. So keep that in mind, right? We do have an instrument mock check ride coming up. So if you want to go see that, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon over on YouTube to get notified when it comes out. Does anybody have any requests for any kind of instrument approaches? We can kind of move the airplane wherever we damn well please, because I've got some software that'll let me do that. We are currently in Arizona. This is where we're currently at. We're at Papa 08. So there's some GPS approaches off of here. There's an ILS over here. Does Tucson still have their back course? Probably not. Let's go see if Tucson still has their back course. Nope, not that. Come on. Let's go to Tucson, charts, climb descent tables, in-op stuff, ILS, GPS, VOR. Oh, they got rid of their back course. Damn. Can I do one at BJC? Sure, why not? RNAV into DCA is not really practical training when it comes to doing this in a in a Cessna simulator. But let's go check out BJC. What is BJC? All right, let's go KBJC. Enter. Let's go see what's going on up here. So, looks like it is a Delta airport. All right. What approach are you thinking? All right, and over there. So we've got an ILS, we've got an RNAV GPS, or we've got some RNAV GPSs. We got a VOR DME runway 30 left and right. What else? What are you thinking? VOR 15 in a KMT. Yeah, I mean, I'm about that. KMTN. Let's go find KMTN. Oh, KMTN. Sorry. MTN. Nope, not current location. Route. You said VOR runway 15 into KMTN. All right, let's go check that out. So, where can I learn more about weather? I can't understand fronts. Fronts, just think of fronts as like they're masses of air. Think of them as balloons, okay? A cold front is a denser balloon than a warm front, right? So what's going to be stuck on the bottom? If one starts overtaking the other, the warm front is going to rise above the cold front. So I inadvertently entered a spin during power off stall training. I used aileron, scared the crap out of me. Bet I won't forget to not use aileron ever. Exactly. I had a student that just absolutely refused. He absolutely refused to pay attention and use the rudder while we were practicing stalls. So I went and grabbed the spin plane and just let him fuck it up. I went and grabbed the spin plane and just let him royally fuck it up. We spun, and guess what? He used rudder. From beyond that point, that student used rudder. All right, let's see about where we want to take off from. There's not really anywhere close, is there? I guess I could just take off from Whiskey 48 and we'll go and do the 1-5 into KMTN. So let's go back to the main menu. My teleport function didn't work, so I have to go all the way back to the main menu. And we're just going to do it in the Cessna 172 because that's what I have my controls currently set up for. So we're just going to keep flying the Cessna 172. Let's go ahead and get rid of the chart so that y'all can see what's going on. And so we're going Whiskey 48, Essex Sky Park, and we are going to go to KMTN. Now, I am probably going to use some GPS on this one because, like, I've never been to this area, but we will do this. But we will do this in hard IFR. You should definitely have a lot more views and followers. I'm pretty sure you will, but I've been watching a lot of your mock check rides, and I'm hoping to do a Piper. You do a Piper Archer one soon. I've done plenty of. Well, no, I haven't done an Archer. I've done a lot of Cherokees. What types of weather are associated with cold fronts and warm fronts? I mean, warm fronts, warm weather. Cold fronts, cold weather. Cold front. It's less about weather associated with a specific front, and it's more about weather associated with fronts overtaking other fronts, and more about the speed at which those fronts are overtaking each other. That's because weather isn't necessarily happening inside the cold front or inside the warm front. It's more about what weather is getting pushed up. I love stalling Cherokees. They sit and buffet and never want to stall. Oh. Yeah, I guess they do. I don't really like it. I don't really like it because I'm like, just stall. Like let's just fucking do this. Like, just go. Just go already. All right. But the Aviation Weather Handbook is a great resource. I'm not awesome on weather. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm, like, amazing. I definitely have to get the subject. I definitely have to get the source material out when I am teaching weather. I definitely have to refresh myself when I start teaching weather. All right, ready to fly. This is not a very long runway. This is not a very long runway at all. But we are going from here to KMTN. So how do I do this in my... how do I set this up in my GPS? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to set up my flight plan. If I come over here to, oh God, it's been so long since I've used a Garmin 430. Flight plan. There we go. So if I push, I'm going to go Whiskey 48. Oh, this takes a while. Whiskey. Let's go 4, 8. Enter. Then I'm just going to put KMTN in as well. All right, so K, A, B, C, D, E. Oh, there's M. And Q, R, S, T, M, T. Where are we at? N. There we go. Enter. So I'm not going to do anything right now, right? I'm not going to do anything else right now because I don't know what approach I'm going to get cleared for. Obviously, we've talked about this. We're going to be doing the VOR runway 15 into MTN, okay? But this is how I would set it up if I was on the ground. I'd probably have another fix between, you know, me and MTN. Well, actually, I might not. But I'm planning on doing the VOR runway 15. I currently fly out of not Williams Gateway. I fly out of Sturgeon Bay, KSU, Sierra Uniform Echo. Yeah, that's where I generally fly out of. Awesome. But we are currently at Whiskey 48. As you can see, not a whole lot going on. Let's go back to our charts for our destination of MTN. We're going to be looking at the VOR runway 15. Ooh, it looks like it's a DME arc. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like an initial approach fix of Sloth. All right. So if I take off, well, what's my minimums? Let's show you all this chart so that you know what I'm looking at too. Looks like my minimums of 920. So let's set our weather down at 920. Awesome, right there. My ForeFlight to my Xbox. You cannot get your ForeFlight connected to your Xbox. There isn't a way to do it. The software that I use is called Flight Events, and Flight Events links me to my iPad. There is no equivalent for Xbox. I'm sorry. All right. There is a back course into Reading Regional. All right. I think that's what we're going to do next then. We'll go do a back course into Reading Regional. All right. Here we are. We've got our nav. We've got all that loaded in. Oh, where'd our weather go? Why didn't our weather stick? Oh, because coverage, 100%. Density, good. Add some of that. We might need to... Oh, what the fuck? What just happened there? All right. 940. Okay. Now, I am going to do this with a GPS overlay because it's I've got the equipment. I might as well do it. Okay, but I am going to take off directly, and I'm going to climb up to, looks like 3,000. Looks like 3,000 is going to be a good altitude, okay? So let's go ahead and make sure I have that all set in my box before I ever leave the ground. This is something that students struggle with. They leave the ground in such a hurry, they forget to set up so much. So our flaps are set. This is a fairly short runway, so we're going to apply full brakes, let that power build, and we're going to do a short field effort. We are off the brakes. Too bad our parking brake is still set. Ooh, this is a teeny runway. This is a teeny runway. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo, woo. All right, there's 40, rotate. And we're climbing. Above 60, I'll go ahead and bring one notch out. I've cleared all my obstacles. Let me go ahead and sync my heading bug up to my current heading. And we'll go autopilot on. Vertical speed can go up. We'll set it at about 600-700 feet per minute. And I am happy with that. What's up, Della? What's up, Della? Now, ATC is going to tell me, hey, climb up, maintain, 3,000. Okay, continuing to climb up and maintaining 3,000. Thanks for the vector. Then they're going to tell me, expect the runway 15 VOR into KMTN. Okay, expect the runway 15. Sounds good to me. So I'm going to come over here, select approach. I am going to scroll down until I see... It looks like I did not get my update in my GPS. So we're going to do the Localizer runway 15. Let's see if I have a chart for that. I do have a Localizer runway 15. So it's slightly different. Looks like our initial approach fix is going to be Westminster. So let's go ahead and grab the localizer, runway 15. Am I looking at the same airport? Yeah, MTN. MTN. Yeah, huh. Oh, yep, flaps are up. All right, good shit. I guess we'll take vectors then. We'll take vectors for this one. We're going to load it. I understand GPS is not an authorized source for this. And it looks like it's off to my right. Bro, I wanted to ask. I got a MacBook Pro 2018. Would it be we don't game on MacBooks. No. Right? Our short field takeoffs in the 172, 2 notches of flaps. I only use 1 notch of flaps for short fields in a Cessna 172. All right. So Cessna 123 or Cheese 1. Go ahead and make a right turn heading 360. All right, right turn heading 360. And we'll get oriented like that. So there's our right turn heading 360. I'm going to pull my range out just to make sure I know exactly where I'm at. Looks like that is Jivum. Let's go back to my charts. Y'all can see my charts right here. What laptop should I get? I mean, I like the Zephyrus, the ROG stuff from Asus. They make some pretty good stuff. All right, so there's my localizer runway 15. Mihan. Where is Mihan? All right, Mihan is my initial approach fix. So we're going out to Mihan. All right, Cheese 1, go ahead and make a left turn heading 330. This is vectors for your final approach course. All right, vectors for my final approach course. Thanks. We're going to activate vectors to final. And what altitude can I be at Mihan? Looks like at Mihan, I need to be at 3,000 feet. I am still continuing my climb. Yeah, so glad you're not a controller. Yeah, no, I'm not a controller. My students aren't. I need to work on being a better controller because, like, my students obviously need me to fake to be a controller to give them appropriate guidance in the sim. But meh, I try. I've never been trained on how to be a controller, so you can't expect much from me. There we are at 3,000. We'll bring our RPM back to about 2,300 RPM. And Mihan looks like I'm 12 miles away from Mihan. So I am way too close because I cannot be vectored inside my final. Well, looks like at Aldi would be where I want to be vectored in. And I could be at 2,000 at Aldi. So where am I in relation to Aldi? Looks like Aldi is off of the... I could use the Ball VOR radial 038. So if we're looking at this chart right here, I can use the Ball VOR frequency 111 or 115.1 on the 038 radial to help me identify Aldi. But I've also got it on my GPS right there. So Cheese 1, go ahead and descend, maintain 2,000. And we'll be getting you turned in on a base to just outside of Aldi. All right, I appreciate it. We're heading on down. 700 feet per minute. Reduce some power. And we're heading on down. So now I'm paying attention. Once I do get vectored inbound, I'm paying attention to my VOR to make sure that I actually get on course. Okay? That makes sense? Anybody confused about what I'm doing? Or has everybody got a pretty solid understanding of what my plan is? And Cheese 1, go ahead and make a right turn heading 060. And we're making a right turn heading 060. All right, Cheese 1, go ahead and continue that turn heading of a 120. Intercept the final approach course for runway 15 localizer into KMTN. All right, continuing that turn, 120, intercepting that course, and we are just going to keep that turn coming because that needle is right the fuck there. We'll go ahead and hit nav, see if it'll grab that nav, and it did. Awesome. Now, at 6.6 from Aldi, but once I cross Aldi, if I look at my chart, it looks like I can go down to 860. What is that 860 in reference to? That is my minimums. So once I cross Aldi, I'm going down to 860. Awesome. Now that I'm sitting here at 2,000 feet, we'll add some power. Set my altitude. I'm going to set 900. I'm not going to try to set 860. I'm not going to set 8. I'm not going to set 7. I'm going to round up just to make sure that I don't end up in the wrong place. I don't end up too low. All right, so it looks like Aldi is... I'm coming up on Aldi. Get ready for my descent. We're going to hit Alt. And once we cross it, we'll set a couple 100 feet per minute down so that we can cross, so that we can get down to our minimums of 860. We should be down at our minimums by 2 miles from our missed approach point. Okay, because that's our VDP. Everybody know what a VDP is? This is how a VDP is depicted. It's our visual descent point, saying if I am not at my minimums by that point, I need to expect to go around or go missed. And here we are in the soup. This is about as realistic as it gets. Well, at least in the simulator, right? Obviously, in the actual plane, it's a little bit more realistic than that. All right. But anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything to add? Nothing? All right, continuing on. We are continuing on. I'm going to go ahead and drop 1 notch of flaps because I am expecting to break out. All right. I am fully well expecting to break out. So if I drop a notch of flaps, it'll help me slow down. It'll help me make sure that I do get stabilized. I'm a little disappointed that I guess I could have just done the VOR runway 15, even though I didn't have a GPS overlay. I think we'll go ahead and do that. Next one, we'll go ahead and do that. So there's my 900. I'm not breaking out. So what I am going to do, though, is I am going to disengage my autopilot, and I'm going to continue my descent down to my actual minimums. So we busted through just a smidge. Obviously, that would be a failure on a check ride, right? If we busted through our minimums. Ooh, I'm getting off course. Getting way off course, way off course, way off course. Looking for the runway. Looking for the pavement. Looks like Zuzva is going to be my missed approach point. We're currently 2 miles from Zuzva. I am going to be doing the missed approach most likely, which is a climbing right turn 3,000 on a heading of 321. So let's go ahead and set my heading of 321 in the event that I, well, don't see anything by Zuzva. Oh, I see approach lights. Continuing, I can go down to 100 feet above touchdown zone elevation. Runway in sight, landing. We ended up kind of off course a little bit. Ah, this might not be good. This might not be good. Ah, we're making it. Stabilized approach. What? Yes, I do have rudder pedals on my setup. That's how I can do this massive slip so that I can get down and actually land. This counts as normal maneuvers, right? Stabilize approach my ass. But yes, I do have rudder pedals. They're just these dumpy CH1 USB rudder pedals. They're nothing to write home about. They're supposed to simulate Airbus pedals, but yeah, whatever. Like, I know there's better ones, like the Cytec and the Logitechs and all that stuff. Yeah, I know. My CDI is... Wait a minute. Did I land on the... No, I landed on the right runway. Fucking solid. What are you asking about on my CDI? It does. Would you have done a missed approach in real life? Yes, I most likely would have gone missed in real life. But as soon as I saw those lights, I was like, nah, fuck it. We going. But that situation, I definitely would have gone missed. There's no point in taking excess risk. I think our next one is going to be this one. This is going to be our next approach. Yeah, the CDI was a little off to the left. I know I missed it. I wasn't great. It wasn't the best approach in the world. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't the best approach in the world. All right. Flight plan menu. Delete flight plan. Awesome. So now we are going to do just a raw data VOR TACAN with a DME arc. So once we take off, all right, so we are going to take off from our runway. Where the fuck is the runway? I'm struggling to actually find the... Wait a minute. Oh, what the hell? All right. So this looks like it's going to be a 14.7 DME arc off of the Baltimore VOR, which then I track inbound on the 068 radial. Oh. This is rough. So then we track inbound on the 068 radial to an 11 DME. Then we go to the... Yeah, then we go to Boast intersection, which is our... The fuck? Yo, someone want to explain this one to me? This one's a little rough. Because I'm struggling to just identify. Oh, that's the missed approach. Oh, okay. So I figured it out. This one's a little rough. This one's interesting. So we have a 14.7 DME arc, which gets us to our airport right there. That was my problem. I lost the airport on the approach chart. But then our missed is continue out on that arc and then track that arc inbound. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. This is I'm scared. I'm in danger. Yeah, so you arc all the way to the runway. I see that. All right, so we're gonna take off. Looks like we're gonna take a right turn. Just head out to the west, and then we're gonna go to Slough. Maybe we'll just take a right turn straight out to the west and intercept that radial 344, track it outbound to 14.7 DME, and then a right turn at 2,600 feet for that DME arc. Fuck, I don't have any RMI needles or anything. Fuck me. This is... Why did I agree to this nonsense? All right. Son of a bitch. If I had an RMI needle, this wouldn't be too bad, but without an RMI needle, it makes it a little bit more Difficult. Okay. Fuck me. So we're going to track outbound. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get a goddamn G1000 and come do this. So settings. Actually, that's not what I want. I want, no, general options, developer mode on. Let's come up here and tools, aircraft selector, Cessna, 172 G1000. And we're gonna grab a G1000 for this. Yeah, this is definitely one hell of an approach. Oh, did that now? Okay, yep, it's loading. Yeah, we're gonna do it in this. We're definitely gonna do it in this thing, not a 6-pack. Not happening. Not happening. Okay. Because this one, I can actually pull up an RMI needle. So if I go CDI, actually PFD options, bearing, which is going to be based on nav1. I want nav2 bearing. And on nav2, I am going to put the Baltimore VOR, which is 115.5. Or 115.1, sorry. We're going to put that in our primary. Now, I should start getting nav2. So I see the Baltimore VOR, but why am I not getting a bearing off of it? As a non-instrument rated pilot, my head is in the clouds right now. Yeah, so instruments is definitely a little complicated. So what we're going to do, what we're planning on doing, is we are going to track a radial outbound to a certain distance. And then we are going to use a needle that always points at the VOR to tell me, am I perpendicular to that VOR? And maintaining 14.7 miles from it. And doing that, I am going to try and track what radial I'm on, because based on what radial I'm crossing is what altitude I need to be at during this approach. Okay? So I'll break it down a little bit easier for you, Kimosabi. So we are currently at the airport. All right? We are currently right here on the ground. Actually, just give me the damn iPad. So we're currently on the ground right here. All right? Current location right there. All right? What we're going to do is we are going to take off and we are going to fly this direction until we hit this radial on the VOR. All right? After we do that, we're going to track out from that VOR until we hit this fix, which is 14.7 miles away from the Baltimore VOR. Then we are going to try and maintain 14.7 miles away until we get to the 021 radial from the Baltimore VOR. Then we're going to drop down to 1,800 feet. All right? From there, we're then going to go to the 039 radial, and that should be our, I think that might be our missed approach point. Let me see. Nope. Then from there, we're going to drop down to our minimums of 1260, or sorry, we're going to drop down to Zovap at 1260, and from Zovap, we're going to drop down to our minimums of 920. All right. Where is Zovap? There is Zovap. Okay. Oh, wait, that's not our current location. This is our current location. I circled the wrong thing. Sorry. So this one's definitely going to be difficult. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Okay. So an RMI needle is really all I need to do this approach. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take off. I'm going to take a right turn west until my needle lines up with the 034 radial. Correction. 334 radial. And then we're going to track that outbound to 14.7. I am happy with that. Let's go ahead and bring our flaps up to an appropriate takeoff range. Yeah, we can take off at flaps 1 or flaps 0. All right, brakes applied, power set, bring it up to max, and roll in. What's up, Holly? How's your night going, Holly? All right, airspeed's alive. Everything's in the green, maintaining center line. We're good. Let's go ahead and start to rotate. And we're up. Nose on the horizon. We're going to set our altitude at... We're going to set our altitude, I think 2,600 is what we want. There's 26. We're going to set vertical speed. We're going to set vertical speed, what? There we go. I'm happy with that vertical speed. Let's go. Let's adjust our heading. So I'm going to track perpendicular to the VOR until my tail tells me I'm on the 034 radial. Which I should be able to just go direct west, and I should be able to get that. So there's west, continuing my climb. We'll go heading mode. We'll go altitude. Arm vertical speed. Why is it defaulting to pitch mode? I don't want pitch mode. I want vertical speed. I definitely don't want 1,100 feet per minute, though. I need to see what the fuck's going on with my autopilot panel over here. Good. Tomorrow, a new day. We'll be busy with my study. Oh, what are you studying for, Holly? So as we can see, there's our needle that's pointing at the Baltimore VOR. That needle, as I continue on this course, should start to swing this way. And once my tail of it is pointed at the 334, I am then going to track inbound to it. Correction, I'm going to track outbound from it. Once I'm tracking outbound, I should be able to go until I am 14.7 DME away from it. Scariest experience I had while flying. I mean, I had an engine failure that ended up in the dirt. So that was really scary. Yeah, that takes the cake. Engine failure, into the dirt. You can't really have much more of a scarier experience while flying other than crashing into the ground with no engine. I have my private check ride on the 28th. I need to focus and study. Well, go study, Chase. But leave the stream up so I can get ad revenue. I'm joking. All right, so grabbing our altitude. What I could do is I could come back. I could go CDI, VOR, and I could actually put in the 334 radial. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. If I put in that, then as that needle swings in on me, I should also be able to do it. PPL, I'm buying an airplane and to get my 1,500 hours. I'm with King's School, but still didn't start my hours waiting for the purchase. What are you trying to buy, Holly? What aircraft are you going to buy? How many flight hours did you have when you landed in the dirt? I don't know, about 2,700. I've got 3 type ratings and I've got every instructor rating out there. So, I mean, I'm not, how do I put this? Like, I'm not new to flying. I know what I'm doing, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. But I still make mistakes, right? I'm always trying to learn. I think I'm 75% going to start no life studying after my flight tomorrow. Well, I mean, Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Get that training done. Get that training done. All right. All right. It looks like I might want to start. Well, I'm 8.8, 8.7. Looks like I'm going to cross over that VOR. Yep. I'm good. I'm good. When did I start flying? I've been flying for almost a decade now. Cessna 162. What is... Oh, a Skycatcher? Skycatchers are fun. Skycatchers are fun. Speaking of buying an airplane, I bought a Cessna 150 2 months ago, and she's quite a beauty. That is awesome. That is awesome, Chase. I have a Lake 200 if you want to look it up. I mean, I guess you could just Google it. It's also somewhere on all of my profiles. It's a wonderful airplane, but the Cessna 150s, they are a hoot. Cessna 150s are pretty nice airplanes. I'm just trying to make sure I know exactly where I'm at and I'm not making a complete and total ass out of myself on this. Yes, the Cessna 150 or the Cessna 162s are very light on the controls. Let's select an approach. Let's go. Well, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to go nearest. Procedure. Oh, no. Nearest. Enter. Oh, fuck it. Direct. Enter. All right. Then we're going to go procedure, select approach. Yeah, it doesn't seem like this VOR runway 15 exists. All right. I guess clear. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to end up pretty close to the VOR because the VOR is on the Baltimore airfield. What you call it? Do you recommend becoming a CFI or go for other low-time pilot jobs? You can get a job as a survey pilot? I mean, I think being a CFI isn't a bad job. I love teaching, right? For fuck's sakes, I'm on here teaching right now, not getting paid for it, right? But it's a struggle to just find the other jobs, right? But if you can get a job as a survey pilot and you really don't want to be an instructor, go get a job as a survey pilot. What's the hardest airplane to fly that I have flown? I mean, define hardest to fly. I mean, the Embraer 145, it had an issue with VMC with like engine failures at flaps 20 on takeoff. And that was kind of difficult to deal with in the full motion sim. Lake 200, it's not an easy airplane to fly on the water. It is definitely a difficult aircraft to land safely and take off from the water safely. So I mean, it really just depends. Are you going to release some instrument mock check ride videos? Yes. Here's the thing. I've done instrument mock check rides. All right. I only release the videos that the students are okay with releasing and that I'm okay with releasing. Like if the student did really, really bad, I'm not going to release that video. Not a chance in hell am I going to embarrass somebody like that. All right. So we are coming up on our radial. Now, any tips on building confidence for my CFI check ride? My instructor thinks I'm ready. I feel pretty good, but check ride anxiety gets the best of me every time. I mean, that's the thing. Rely on somebody else's confidence. Also, recognize that you're going to be nervous. Being nervous is a superpower. That's your body's response to possible danger. You're obviously not in any actual danger, but recognize some of the things that happen to your body when you're nervous. Your heart rate goes up, your pupils dilate, it helps you focus more, you start seeing more. So recognize that your body is going to increase your heart rate. You're going to be breathing more. Use that energy. Use that in your teaching. The only difference between anxiety and excitement is how you respond to it. I know that's kind of a shitty way to say it. You know, people who are actually experiencing like actual anxiety, obviously that's not the difference. But when it comes to anxiety for an event, when you aren't clinically diagnosed with anxiety, you're getting a superpower at that point. All right, let's start our turn outbound until we hit 14.7 DME. All right, you're a great instructor and a very nice person. I love you and appreciate. Well, I don't know about I love you, but you know, I really do appreciate the bouts of confidence. I try to be a good instructor. I think being an instructor is a really big. It's a really big deal. It's not something to be taken lightly, and I get really frustrated when I see some instructors just kind of mail it in just so that they can build their hours. If you suck at your job as an instructor, somebody is going to have to explain a check ride failure for the rest of their life. And that's not something I want on my conscience. I want to make sure that my students are prepared for their check rides. I want to make sure that my students aren't only prepared for their check rides, but they are prepared to be safe pilots, and they are prepared to continue learning. All right? I have made sure to drill it into my students' heads, countless, that we are always learning. I am still in flight training. Your flight training never ends. I am still in flight training. I will be in flight training till the day I die. It's that simple. And when you keep that mentality, you're always learning. You're always trying to be better. You're always trying to do better. Let's go ahead and give it some more juice. This autopilot is nice. My autopilot is nowhere near this nice. But be on the lookout. I do have some videos going over maintenance on my airplane. I'm also going to be putting out some videos of me installing 2 G5s in my airplane. So that's going to be exciting. So be on the lookout for that. And there's also going to be some videos on instrument check rides. Okay. For those of you wondering where we are right now, we are right here. Okay. So we are right here on this little airplane. We're trying to track up for the 015. Okay. Why did the airplane have a bad attitude? What do you mean a bad attitude? As a private pilot, how do you build confidence to fly by yourself? Fly by yourself. That's a really good way to build confidence, is do it. Oh shit. RPM's too high. Let's bring it back into the green range. I don't want to overheat this engine. Okay. Hey, it's Saint Cheese teaching aviation disciplines. Thank you for your work. Well, I don't know if I'm a saint, right? I would feel better about my check ride if failures were irrelevant to being hired. They're not, because let's be honest. If you have a good instructor, which most instructors are good, right? Most instructors try to be decent instructors. If you've got a good instructor, a check ride failure is your fault. I'm sorry if that's news to you, but if you fail a check ride, you failed. You failed to study. You failed to maintain situational awareness. You failed to do what you were planning on doing. And a check ride is supposed to be you doing it. So if you can't do it, it's your fault. Yeah, Daryl, that's a perfect way to put it. If you've got a bad instructor, fire them. Fire your shitty instructor. Fire your shitty instructor. Fire every shitty instructor you ever have. It is not worth it to continue with a shitty instructor. I hate it when I hear students like, oh, well, my instructor sucked. Well, why'd you keep working with him? Well, the flight school assigned them to me. What okay. Would you keep going to McDonald's if they kept giving you food poisoning? No. So don't keep paying that flight instructor that can't seem to teach you. And don't get me wrong, there are times when it's not necessarily the instructor or the student's fault. Sometimes people just don't vibe. They just don't jive together. I've had situations where that happened. And you know what I do? I I get my student a new instructor. I find them somebody that they will jive with. I find them somebody who actually can provide them the instruction that they deserve. All right. But talking about check ride failures, even if you have a check ride failure, explain what went wrong, what you learned from it, and how you applied that in the rest of your aviation career and training. How did you get better from a failure? That will make the check ride failure not matter. Because if you come up and you say, hey, I lost situational awareness. Now I do these things to make sure that I don't lose situational awareness. I recognize that I failed at a task that I was being tested on. And now I do these things to make sure that I don't fail at this task again. That recognizes that you are fallible. That shows that you can recognize that you are fallible and that you make mistakes. It also shows that you are willing to accept criticisms and better yourself when you are told that you are wrong or that you failed. All right? Own it. Exactly what Dennis says in the chat. Own it. What airline did I fly for? So I flew for a couple regionals and then an ultra low cost carrier. I am currently still on the seniority list of an ultra low cost carrier, so I don't really discuss exactly what airline that is because I don't want it to be misconstrued as if I'm speaking on behalf of that carrier. But now what we're doing is we are turning to 90 degrees of our RMI needle, a little bit less than 90, so that I can get back to where I need to be because I'm currently at 15 DME right now. If we zoom in, we can look at our DME right down here, currently at 15 DME from the Baltimore VOR. But what I am going to do now is I'm going to set the 021 radial because that's my next crossing point. That's the next point where I'm going to start my descent. Okay, so there's 02. And here is 021. Sorry, I was wrong. 021 right there. Now I'm going to do my best to maintain 14.7 DME. Is the minimum age to get a restricted ATP 21? Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to turn a little bit more in. Look, I'm at 14.9 DME right now, but once this radial comes in, I am going to go down to 1800. So I'm going to set 1800 in my altitude window so that I can initiate that descent real easy once I get there. Does that make sense? Can you explain leading and undershooting the compass when turning? Don't do compass turns. No. So when we're looking at this compass, right? If I am undershooting north, overshooting south, UNOS, right? That's the acronym, or that's the acronym of the mnemonic. Oh, undershoot north, overshoot south. So what that means, if I am turning from either an east or a west heading to the north, what I read on the compass should be less than north, should be less than 360 because the compass is going to catch up. Now, if I'm going again from an east to west heading going to the south, I need to overshoot, right? So if I'm going from the east, I need to go to like 190, 110, 200 to let the compass swing back. Does that make sense? All right, there's my 14.7 DME. So I'm going to, nope, that's altitude. Let me adjust for heading. Another 10 degrees. That should hold me right there. You're the best YouTube social media person out there. I don't know if I'm the best, but I try to generate, I try to make like good content to help people with their flight training. Well, I'm glad y'all agree. I really do my best. I appreciate the bouts of confidence. But as always, remember, I am a instructor. I am not your instructor. I am not a replacement for flight instruction. All right. I just want to make sure that I get that out there. I am not a replacement for flight instruction. I am a supplement for flight instruction. I am a instructor. I am not your instructor. Unless you pay me, then maybe I'll be your instructor. But currently all I do is I teach in the full motion sim for the ATP CTP course. All right. So if you do want me to teach you, really the only options is the ATP CTP course. I know that kind of sucks, but that's what I'm currently doing. Faux monies. I'm actually going down to Vegas to teach in the full motion sim this weekend. Not like, obviously not the weekend we're currently on, but you know, the next follow-up weekend to well, teach some people for the ATP CTP course in the A320. You know, the full motion sim, not the actual aircraft. All right, but any other questions? Any other questions? I always love answering these questions, helping people out. Well, I don't know about a million, but I am doing my best. I know I get a little busy sometimes, so I can't necessarily put out content at the rate that like other people can, but I'm also not at the point where I can start paying editors to put out the content at the rates that other people can. Plus I'm busy. Like for the last week, I have been like elbow deep in my airplane getting its annual done, right? Any advice for the Power Off 180? Yeah, try and do it the same way every time. Try and do it the same way every time. And once you get it down like that, then start making adjustments. Try and just make pavement and then make adjustments. Okay? Did you ever get bored flying routes at the airlines? All the goddamn time. Oh my God, airline flying is so boring. Oh my God, it's so boring. Like there's no, like it is rough. All right, so it looks like we are coming up on our radial. Right, we're gonna adjust our heading just a little bit more. We're going down to 1800 at this point, so reduce some power. Nope, not yet. We're going down to 1800 to Goves, and then we're going down to 1260 at Zovap. Once I cross Goves, Goves is on the 39-degree radial. I'm the next Mr. Beast. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What's my passenger briefing for general aviation? It's the safety acronym. You know, this is how you use your seatbelts. This is the air vents, fire extinguisher, you know, location and operation and who's going to use it. Emergency exits, no talking during critical phases of flight like taxi, takeoff, landing. Operations below, 3,000 feet other than cruise and any emergencies. All right, so now we're going to start our nose down. We're going to go about 700 feet per minute down, reduce some power, get my turn in so I can maintain on course. I got a little bit off course. Then we're going to set our next radial, which is the 039. There it is. Once I cross that 039 radial, I am going to... Once I cross the 039 radial, I'm going to head down to 1260. All right. Hey, I've got my check ride tomorrow. One quick question. What's up? Awesome. Awesome. We're continuing on. So if you're following along on the chart, we are currently between Goves and Zovap. We are currently right here. What's up with pilots meowing on the radio? It's just a joke. It's just a joke. That's really all it is. It's just people trying to have a good time. That's all it is. You know, we're over there. You know, you're just bored, nothing to do up in cruise, and you're just like, meow. People respond, meow, meow. I don't know if maybe there was like something from back in the day that started it off, but yeah, it's just pilots being bored and having fun. What are you using? I am using Microsoft Flight Sim with the Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo with CH USB rudder pedals. All right, so here we are. We're coming in. Let's go ahead and set our next altitude, which is 1260. But given that I can't set 1260, I'm going to set 1300. All right. Don't believe him. It's code. What would it be code for? Yeah, the meows is actually code for release the chemtrails. That's exactly what it's code for. Release the chemtrails. Meow. Release the... The fuck would it be code for? All right. So we're coming up on this next radial. And then we got Zovap, which is 047. All right. I guess I could probably just hit flight level change, and that would just descend me. Yep, flight level change, reduce power. Then we're going to set the 047. So there's 047. Once we cross 047, we're going down to our minimums of 920, as you can see on the chart right there. Like asking anybody if they ever got bored on their, you know, in cruise on their airline flights. Have you ever gotten bored on your solo cross countries? Yeah, of course you've gotten bored on your solo cross countries. That's why people are looking for me on Instagram or on Twitch, because I have the damn logo up. I'm stupid. All right. And let's add some power. What's up, Elevated Access? How's your night going? There we go. Now, once we cross this, our next one is going to be the 060. And we can start our descent. We'll go vertical speed down. Oh, shit. Nope. Sorry. Got to set my altitude. Ah, damn. We're setting 1,000 because I can't set 900. We're going to go vertical speed down. There. Reduce power so I can start adding flaps and keeping my 14.7 DME. All right. So I'm going to kill my autopilot, and I'm going to hand fly this down to my actual minimums. Let's go ahead and drop one notch of flaps. All right, looking for lights, looking for lights. There's my minimums, lock it there. All right, looking for lights, looking for lights, looking for lights. Come on, lights. Come on, lights. Looking for lights. Come on, lights. Anything, anything. I don't want to go missed. The missed approach on this is so hard. I really don't want to go missed. And runway in sight. Ah! I'm landing. Fuck this.
500.
Yeah, 500. I appreciate it. Nope, the flight director wasn't providing me any guidance. The flight director had no guidance for me. The flight director was telling me to maintain 1,000 feet and a heading. The flight director wasn't linked up to any reliable information. There we go. I said plenty of runway. I had plenty of runway. I was definitely not prepared to do a mist. I was not prepared to do a mist. Yeah, I'm like... Oh, yeah, see, so people are saying follow the flight director. Let's look at our flight mode enunciator right up here at the top, all right? Our flight mode enunciator is saying heading, altitude 1,000. That was all the information that flight director was giving me. It was telling me to maintain a heading of 136 and 1,000 feet. So make sure, instead of following a flight director blindly, recognize what it's trying to tell you to do before you just say, fuck it, let's go. All right. I was a little off course. This is a rough approach. That was a rough approach. I probably should have set my minimums. I think my minimums might, or my weather might just be a smidge too low. I think if I set it, you know, if I set it for like maybe 950, maybe 960, I might have actually been able to see. I would have been able to see it by my VDP. But I mean, we survived. Did you die? No, I'm kidding. Of course, if this was in real life, that would have been a missed approach. I would have ended up doing the missed approach procedure, which is climbing right turn 2500 on Bali VOR 068 to, or not Bali, but Baltimore VOR on 068, Baltimore to 11 DME, arc clockwise to Boast intersection, and hold. I was not doing that. I was not prepared for that, even in the slightest. But we didn't die, so I call that a success. Anybody got any other requests? Anybody got any other requests for approaches? Oh, I completely forgot that my Stream Deck is set up for me to like adjust things. For me to like adjust my comms. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. RNAV into runway 35 into Kazo. AZO. I feel like I recognize that airport. All right. Let's take a look at it on the map. KAZO. Open up the map for y'all. Oh, is that Kalamazoo? Oh yeah, that is Kalamazoo. I've been there in a CRJ 200. Can I save the live, please? It's going to be over on YouTube. So go watch it over on YouTube. Can you do an approach into Stinson? I think I'm probably going to, this is probably going to be my last one. It's already 9:30 for me, and I've had kind of a long day. So I think I'm going to do this last approach, and we're just going to chat for a little bit and call it a night. What's the worst airport in my opinion? I don't know. I've never been to an airport that I would really say is the worst. Yeah, no, I haven't really can't think of one where I'm just like, that fucking airport blows. Like my local airport, I'm a little crabby with like the airport manager, but you know, that's just local airport drama. Local small airport. Are you going to be at Oshkosh? Yeah, I'm probably going to be there on the weekend. Probably going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Thursday. I might do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to be at Camp Dirtbag. I can't really release its location because, you know, I sound so conceited when I say this, and I hate saying it, but there's like a bunch of us who make content that are going to be there. So I don't really want to release the location because that's where we're going to go to like relax. Right. So, when I'm in the grounds, sure. You know, if y'all want to come say hi, you know, go join the Discord and whatnot. But yeah, go join the Discord and we'll go and, you know, let me know where y'all are going to be at. If y'all want to like hang out, say hi, you know, have me sign your t-shirt or something. I don't know if you actually want me to or nothing. I don't know if that's a thing y'all want. I'm not saying that like, that's what you know, all right, so destination KAZO, and you said the RNAV 35. So let's take a look at the RNAV runway 35. Oh, that one looks pretty easy. I just started to learn about airspace right now. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. All right. So where is Kalamazoo close to anything where I could like kind of like simulate this? I guess we could do it from Three Rivers Municipal. All right. So that's the plan. I don't know. I haven't ordered any merchandise. Should I? Are y'all gonna buy it? Like, this T-shirt has been for sale for ages, and you know, people don't buy it. But I don't know if I'm gonna bring any Friends Against Aviation stuff, given that you know the Friends Against Aviation are gonna be there and they already don't like me. All right, fly KPDX. That's Portland, isn't it? Yeah, what about KPDX? Oh, we're gonna go PDX to we're gonna go we're gonna go do an approach into Kalamazoo, the RNAV GPS runway 35. The reason we're doing the RNAV runway GPS runway 35 is because it's gonna be easy. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, it's gonna be easy. Let's go up to dev mode because I didn't grab the right airplane. Tools. So it's most likely going to be me, you know, dirtbag, aircraft mechanic. PIC Jillian might be there. I don't know. To be honest, I just kind of show up and hang out. We are going to be doing an approach. Yep, we're going to be doing an approach into Kalamazoo. So let's go ahead and set our weather. What's our minimums for runway 35 into Kalamazoo? If we do an LPV, it is 1068. So let's set up around 1068. So let's set that just a little bit higher. We'll call it 84. Yeah, we'll call it 94. 100% coverage, 100% dense, or 100% density. Well, you know what? Let's give it maybe just a little less density. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay. So let's set this up. I'm gonna hit nearest first, and we're gonna go direct enter. So it looks like it's a right turn off up to there. This runway looks a little short. We'll go ahead and set flaps 1. Where's my parking brake switch? I know one of the... No, I didn't set up a parking brake switch. So let's go ahead and release our parking brake. Apply full brakes. To be honest, the worst ATC I have ever engaged with is the one at Williams Gateway, or India Whiskey Alpha. A lot of... Well, okay, so a lot of those controllers have actually changed, you know, since I've been there. But when I was there, a lot of those controllers were dicks. Like, just for no reason either. You know, they became ATC at a flight school airport. There was 2 flight schools at that airport, and there was another like 4 flight schools in the surrounding area from that airport. And these people just decided they wanted to be grumpy little shits to students. And it's like, dude, like, you signed... Well, okay, maybe you didn't sign... Yeah, they did sign up for it because that was a privatized ATC. All right, so we're going to go direct, enter. We're going to hit altitude. We're going to hit flight level change. We're going to hit nav. And autopilot on. Is Stevie I have no idea who Stevie Treisenberg is, if I'm going to be honest. Who is that? Is that somebody I should know? All right, so now we're going to select procedure, select approach, RNAV GPS, runway 35, LPV, load. We're going to take it from... What's Woof? Oh, no, I definitely don't want to take it from Woof. We'll take it from Urid. We'll load the whole thing. Minimums on. Barrow, yep. And then we're going to set our minimums of 1068, but since I can't set minimums that low, or not that low, since I can't set single digits, I'm gonna set 1070. All right, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. And there's 1070. Enter, activate. And on our way. Looks like we're 7 miles from Urd. But yeah, I mean, so India Whiskey Alpha, they had some controllers that were kind of grumpy, kind of rude. I didn't really like them that much. But I mean, Chicago's always been great. Kalamazoo's been great. Minneapolis airspace, it's actually kind of funny. Minneapolis Center has recognized me on the radio before. And they found me on Instagram and sent me a snap, or not a snap, but sent me a message on Instagram, taking a picture of the little like card that they use to keep track of everything. It was kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Can y'all hear the music? All right. We are cruising along. Looks like we're 5.3 from Urud. And once we get past Urud, looks like continuing on at 2,800 till we cross Ailu. What's up, Robbie? That 3D print is going to take so long. Keep dancing like you said. All right. We could probably get vectored in past to Koyav. So we're going to scroll down, hit direct, enter. All right, I'm happy with that. Helps cut this a little bit shorter. Kovav looks like it's still at 2,800, but past Kovav looks like we're gonna be following down our minimums down to yeah. We'll just grab the glides. We'll just grab the glide path. Dang, I can already see. Let's set our weather just a smidge lower. Oh, I'm an idiot. This is set off of mean ground level. So I'm going to set this to like 294. That'll give me 94 feet. Because I'm going to be doing an LPV approach. So for those of you following along on your approach plate, this is the approach I'm going to be doing. I'm going down to the LPV minimums of 1,068, which is 200 and 200 off the ground with half-mile visibility. And now I have done approaches like this in my airplane. Not an LPV, but actually an ILS. I've done an ILS in my airplane down to minimums, down to 200 feet off of the ground. It's a lot. It's a lot, to say the least. But anybody else got any good questions? Anybody else got anything going on? Any more flight training? I always love hearing about people getting through their flight training. Nothing? All right. What is this?
Oh shit, that's my chipmunk voice. I completely forgot I had a chipmunk voice changer. We're gonna do the rest of the live with my chipmunk voice changer on. How does that sound? Probably sounds terrible. I hear people absolutely hate this one.
But then I have this one. Maybe I should be using this to like behave as ATC. Be like, Cheese 1, turn left and intercept past Cove Ave.
Cheese 1, we're intercepting past Cove Ave. Part 141, stage 1 oral next week. Awesome, awesome. Are you ready for it? Are you nervous? As far as PPL, what's some advice for the check ride? Just make sure you get a good night's sleep and rely on, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but rely on other people's confidence. If your instructor is confident that you're going to pass, you're probably going to pass. Right? Instructors don't care much about your feelings or anything like that. They care whether or not you are going to negatively impact their pass rate. If you are not going to negatively impact their pass rate, they're going to sign you off to go take your check ride. Does that make sense? We'll set our minimums. Actually, let's just do this. We'll arm approach. It'll arm glide path, and once glide path comes in, we can just set our missed approach altitude of 3,000. Your instructor, if your instructor's confident that you're going to pass, you're going to pass. Taking my private pilot check ride on the 28th, been studying a lot and watching your videos. That is awesome, Billy. That is awesome. Are you concerned? Are you nervous? You got any questions? Anything in those check ride videos that isn't clicking for you? All right. So we are 2 point from ALU, and ALU is our final approach fix where we're going to start our descent. Glide path is coming in. I'm going to go ahead and drop flaps 1. What did you train in for your PPL? I trained in this airplane, the airplane you're seeing me work in right now. This is the airplane I did all of my private pilot training in. I know I'm a little like it is a little much for private pilot, but that's what the school had. That's what I trained in. What is a final approach fix? Final approach fix is the fix and pretty much where you're going to start descending. To break it down kind of simply, like kind of in simple terms, it's the point in where you're going to start following down some kind of step downs down to your runway. Okay. What is your perfect flight and what aircraft would you be flying? What do you mean my perfect flight? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Cause I'm not really sure what you mean by that. There we go. Got our density up, so now we can't see the ground. Definitely nervous. I think weather will be tough for me, but it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of DPEs. What they mostly focus on is the weather that you bring. The weather that you brought to evaluate on whether or not this flight could go safely. I've seen some start digging into other stuff. But for the most part, I know when I did stage checks, I talked about the weather you brought. This is supposed to be a simulated, simulated flight. What flight would I enjoy the most? I mean, I don't know. I really like it. Every time I take out my seaplane and put it in the water, it's fucking awesome. Every time. I never get tired of it. As soon as that thing touches the water and I hear that on the body, it's just makes me just giddy every time. I giggle like a little kid. I'm just like, hee. I love it. Can you fly into thunderstorms? Once. Once. Beyond that, no. How much did a seaplane rating cost? Okay, I got my seaplane rating the wrong fucking way because I got such a special airplane to do it. Most people go down to like Jack Brown's and they get their seaplane rating in like a Cub. They get it in like a Cub and it costs them like $1,200. It costs them like $2,000, $3,000 at the most, right? I said, yeah, that's stupid. And I went and bought a Lake 200. But before I bought it, I went and paid $500 an hour to get a couple hours in one, just to make sure that I knew how to fly it on the land before I went and bought it and flew the dang thing home. And then I used my personal airplane to get my flight training done, where I paid the instructor something like $210 an hour to teach me how to fly my airplane, and I had to get 10 hours in it. So then I had to, but I also had to fly the airplane to my instructor. So I mean, I'm paying for, and my instructor was like 2 hours away, like a 2-hour flight away. So I was 2 hours of flight there, 2 hours of flight back, 3 hours of flight training when I was there. And I did that like 3 times and then took my check ride. So it probably cost me close to like $6,000 to get my seaplane done. Are you supposed to turn the ailerons into the wind for wind correction when taxiing? It depends. If the wind's coming from your tail, you're supposed to turn the aileron. You're supposed to dive away from the wind. If you're going into the wind, if you've got a headwind, you're supposed to dive into the wind. That's the best way to do it. All right, we're continuing on. I better break out. If not, we're going to do the mist, I guess. Let's go outside. Make sure I'm not like... All right, continuing on. I can go ahead and drop another notch of flaps. This will help get my nose down. Another notch of flaps. Oh, goddamn. Holy shit. Oh, we just caught some wake off of that jet. We got another 100 feet to minimums. Approach lights in sight, continuing. Autopilot off. All right. Flaps are full. Reduce power. We're getting high. Runway environment in sight. Landing. So you can see how much easier it is to do a GPS approach, especially like an LPV, than it is to do like a VOR, DME, ARC nonsense. I am floating along. Ooh, that was a big old balloon. All right, that's okay. It wasn't my best landing, but it was a landing. What else can you what else can you expect out of a simulator? There we go. Awesome. Now, I hope everybody had fun. I hope everybody learned something. I hope everybody had a good time, right? I do my best to try and teach in these. I also do my best to try and just, have a good time, be entertaining. So if this is the kind of stuff you enjoy, make sure you drop a follow. Make sure you subscribe over on YouTube. It really does help out the channel a lot. There's merch in the bio, right? We've got t-shirts like this. We got Friends Against Aviation stuff. For those of you who don't know what Friends Against Aviation stuff, I'll be right back. So this is the Friends Against Aviation merch. Yeah, that logo looks familiar, but it says it's a little different. It's a little different. So if you want merch like that, that's available as well. But other than that, y'all have a good night. My credits scene doesn't work. So